Welcome back to SME Insights. We're here at Mission Critical Workforce 2030 at Manufacturing Technology Series East. I'm Christian Jensen, Director of Institutional Giving for the SME Education Foundation, and I am honored to introduce my good friend and partner, Joe Kane, Chief Executive Officer of Rollomatic. Our conversation today will offer valuable insights into how Rollomatic and the SME Education Foundation have partnered in shaping the next generation of skilled manufacturing talent. Joe, welcome. Joe, excited to chat with you a little bit today about Rollomatic. Would love just if we could start off with telling your story with Rollomatic. I know you've been with the company for most of your career.
So first off, I just want to say thank you to SME for having us, letting us kind of present Rollomatic and talk about the partnership. So Rollomatic is a Swiss-based manufacturer of precision grinding machines. We got our start in the cutting tool industry, but since then we've diversified into punch, med tech, and now we even have an automation piece in the group. Personally, I've been with the group for about 7 years now. I started with a sister company called Strausic that does job shop tool grinding machinery, and I've been with Rollomatic now for about the last 5 years, and in my current role for the last 3. And partnering with SME was just kind of a natural thing for us. Ever since the company was founded 30 years ago, when you make a machine, you have to train customers on how to use that machine, right? And so we've been in this business of training for decades, but partnering with people like SME helps us get better at not only how do we train, but how do we ensure that the people we're going to be training have a better foundation upon which to build.
Awesome. And Joe, Rollomatic, under your leadership, grew the contribution to SME Education Foundation scholarships, and we're really appreciative of that. Maybe if you can share how that scholarship came to be and the thought process inside Rollomatic when creating that scholarship.
So the contribution that we do, the scholarship with SME that we have now, is basically our Christmas gift to our customers, right? We've always kind of done something like that, and we decided like, hey, let's do something consistent and do this for the long term. Personally, I've got 30 more years of doing this. I'd like to ensure that there's customers in 30 years. And the investment in training is something that's universal, right? I mean, it's the machine tool builders, it's the peripherals suppliers, it's our customers, it's the end users of their tools that they're buying, and when we look at it, it's super important for us. Last year, Rollomatic, the founder of Rollomatic, retired and put the company into what's called a foundation. In the US, we would know it as a trust. It ensures that the company will continue in perpetuity, right? And so by partnering with SME and your foundation, we're trying to mirror that. And the founder of Rollomatic, Michel Rollier, he has a huge heart for training. A few years ago, we started our own educational we call it the Rollomatic Learning Center, and he was the driving force behind that. Being in this niche of tool grinding, you're not going to find that anywhere, right? And so we want to be able to produce that content and train our customers, right? It's part of our promise. But we need to ensure that there's visibility of manufacturing careers out there, and there's that strong manufacturing foundation, right? And so if they become a tool and cutter grinder, great, we'd love that. But if they become a machinist or they get into sales, it's at the end of the day, it's helping all of us.
Sure. And that was one of the things I remember when we were talking about creating the Rollomatic Scholarship. One of the things that stuck with me was just that. It was a Christmas gift to your customers, your suppliers, your partners. Right. And I love that mentality, because to actually make a difference in moving the needle with the manufacturing talent pipeline, it takes a broad coalition. Rollomatic can't do it by itself. The SME Education Foundation can't do it by itself. But when we've got great partners like you and everyone that is in your ecosystem, we're going to move the needle together. And I want to talk a little bit in a few minutes about what Rollomatic is doing in terms of your internal training programs. But just sticking with the scholarship that you all created for a moment, want to chat with you a little bit about the impact that you're already seeing it have, whether it's from the student recipients or even feedback that you're getting from your vendors, your customers, your partners.
We normally send out a letter at Christmas and we explain, hey, this year as our present, we've made this donation to ensure the Rollomatic Scholarship Fund through SME continues. And I'm always pleasantly surprised, but surprised nonetheless, that we get letters back from a variety of customers thanking us for that. And one that came in was from a new customer that year. And the engineer said, hey, look, I had the SME scholarship when I was going through college. And it's amazing, now that we have a Rollomatic, it just puts you guys up at that next level that you're doing this, right? And so it's, being in a super niche, it's good for us to get our name out there. It's a very positive way to get our name out there, right? And it's very appreciated by all of our customers because, they see it the same way. It's they know that it may not have a direct impact on them, right? They might not get a recipient of that scholarship, but the recipient of that scholarship will inevitably be a customer of theirs, right? And so it's just feeding into all that, and a rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Well said. And that's one of the things we're really intentional to do at the SME Education Foundation is let our scholarship recipients know that they've received the Rollomatic scholarship. So even if they never get to meet you or your team or your customers, they have a lifelong affinity, and I'm guessing your paths will cross. The manufacturing sector is such a small world, but they know that Rollomatic has helped enable their educational pursuits, which is really cool. And we're really excited to always celebrate our partners' philanthropy and their generosity. Switching gears a little bit, tell us more about the learning and training initiative that Rollomatic has taken internally. And starting at the high level, and you touched on a little bit in your earlier comments, but why is education so important? Why is developing that knowledge base and investing in the future workforce, your future customer base so important to you guys as a company?
Well, I think you just said it, right? It's to have a future customer base, right? For us, it's when we look at our Rollomatic Learning Center, we see that as part of our customer promise, right? The machine is a piece of a solution that we're offering. We have to be able to train people on how to run that solution, right? And then we have to be able to service that and support it. And training covers all of that. So we use the Learning Center to do a few things. One is we make it available to all of our team members. So whether they're salespeople, service engineers, applications engineers, even myself, I had to go through it a little bit, right? It raises the knowledge level inside the company. And a more informed team member is going to support our customers better. And then we look at the customer side of it and we say, there's a lot of things that we've learned through our experience, both, before it was Rollomatic, we were a cutting tool manufacturer. We have a ton of knowledge in cutting tool manufacturing. Well, we need to impart that knowledge out to our customers and help them better utilize the solutions we provide. And so, COVID being what it was in a way a blessing to us is that we had all these people sitting at home and we could start getting the knowledge out of their head, right? Because that's the hardest part. You have a lot of people that are really smart, have been doing it for years, but it's all up in here.
Sure.
And so taking that opportunity to start getting that knowledge out, structuring it, making it into curriculum, and then developing that online digital tool that they can go and take courses. And it's courses on anything from programming, machine setup, maintenance. It's growing every day. We're putting new content there. It's so specialized that it can only come from us in some regards, right? But again, if there's no solid foundation on which to build, right? If you don't know how to use a micrometer, if you don't know how to use a caliper, if you don't, these things that are just foundational, that's what we need out there, right? And so that's how we look at that partnership with you guys is we can provide the specific training eventually, but we need a really well-educated workforce.
So since this is SME Insights, would love just to hear a little bit about your personal story. We talk about the foundation that was built, and kind of part two of that question is, what advice would you give a young person entering the manufacturing sector today?
Okay. So I was fortunate enough, so I was in the Marine Corps, and my job in the Marine Corps was the least Marine Corps of all the jobs. I was a test measurement and diagnostic equipment technician, which is basically metrology and calibration. And so I just so happened to have a neighbor that worked for a company called SMW Autoblock, and they needed a kid in the summer to kick boxes and do shipping and receiving. And so they were paying good money, and so I went in and did that. And quickly they realized I knew what a caliper was. I knew what a micrometer was, right? Those basics. And they said, hey, you want to be a service tech? And I said, yeah, what does it pay? Let's go. And that was kind of how I got my foot in the door. And then eventually transitioned into sales. Found my way into the capital equipment side of sales in this industry. And then a few years ago, got approached to come over to Straussic. And I don't have formal education, right? And I truly believe that this industry, manufacturing, is one of the last few where that doesn't matter. It's about experience and knowledge, and you're willing to show up every day, work hard, and learn. And that's what I have a few siblings that, have gotten into it because of that. And I have a lot of people I know that we talk about that and say, yeah, this is an industry that's still primed for growth and very good careers and pays well, right? Good benefits. And you never know where you're going to end up, right? Yeah, you could be in a machine shop every day at the same manufacturer for 4 years, or you could be like myself, who I've gotten to travel the world and do some really cool things because of the opportunities afforded to us by, all these great machine tool builders, peripheral suppliers, cutting tool companies, right? I think it's one of those things where we still reward people that want to show up every day and put in the work. And that's what I love about manufacturing.
It's a very special industry. So, any words of advice for somebody entering the manufacturing sector today?
So my big piece, and I give this to our new team members and I give it to family, volunteer for everything, right? When you get into this, as soon as they say, hey, we need somebody to go take this course, or we need somebody to go do this or that, put your hand in the air and go learn, or go have that experience. You never ever know where it's going to lead to. And I think that's the foundation of it.
It's great advice. Joe, thank you again for joining us on this installment of SME Insights. Thank you for your partnership and your investment in the future of the skilled manufacturing workforce. Really appreciate it, my friend.
It's our pleasure. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Christian.
Joe.
Appreciate it.